Alright, so you see, boys and girls, this here tail wheel is supposed to be attached to that airplane. But I'm currently sitting on a sandbar on the Oconee River in South Georgia, and it is in fact not attached. I'm stuck.
The river has been up really high all year. We're now into April, and the river is just now dropping out low enough that I think we should be able to land some bars. I know we can land Kenneth's bar because Tony, he was out flying yesterday and sent us a picture of landing on Kenneth's bar, and it's dropped out probably half a foot since yesterday afternoon. So anyway, we're gonna get out and hopefully land our very first sandbar of the year. I am so excited that river season, sandbar season is back in full effect. And man, we're gonna have some good times. Oh man, here we go, here we go. Oh, I should probably get this excited about it, but man, I am tickled. All right, I see Kenneth's bar down here. Even though I know it's landable because Tony just landed it last night, I still want to circle it just to make sure I see the layout of it, because every time the river rises and then falls, the sandbars wash out a little different. There's a log right there. I do see a log. I need to move it out of the way when I get down on the ground. It's funny how I have got, I don't know, dozens and dozens and dozens of sandbar landings, but when you haven't landed a sandbar in a little while, the first one always still gets you blood pumping in your heartbeat. We're gonna drop down in the river. Oh yeah, the brakes are doing a wonderful job.
First sandbar landing of the season, and I could not be more happy. A couple things are positive. Number one, the new brakes on the Avid. While yes, there is some room for improvement, I could use a tad more stopping power, but I'm telling you, compared to what I come from, brother, that is great. Second big positive, as you know if you've watched this channel, that we visit Kenneth's bar here a pretty good bit throughout the summer. We've camped on it before. It's the bar that usually pops up the soonest when the river drops out. And the last time through the winter that it kind of showed its face a little bit, it had washed out really rough. So the second positive is Kenneth's bar has washed out what looks like it's going to stay really smooth as long as we can keep the river down and keep it from popping back up again. So usually after we come out here, after the river has been up for a while and now it's dropped out where we can use it, I like to spend a little bit of time just coming out and picking up debris and different stumps and stuff off the sandbar, getting it cleaned out so that we don't run the risk of puncturing a tire and getting stranded out here. For example, let me show you what I mean. So this big old log right here was sitting right in the middle of the sandbar, and that would have made a horrible day for somebody. It was heavy and it still got some water in it, but drug it over here to get it out of the way. But those don't tend to be the big problem because you can see those. Let me show you what usually is the problem. It's ones just like this that create the problem for you, because if you was coming into land, it doesn't necessarily, you can see it on the camera, but when you're riding out bumps and hops of a rough sandbar, it's small enough you can't really see it, but look at that. That, my friend, would be a bad day for a tire. I'm running cheap enough tires that if I pop one, I wouldn't be happy about it, but it wouldn't really be that big of a deal. But if you were running those Alaska bush wheels, whew, this could be a miserable day for you. As you can see right here, this is where my tail wheel touched down first. I was trying to come in over the water. There's a little bit of debris and it's kind of uneven back here on the back side of the bar. But anyway, so I had a pretty steep angle of attack when I was coming in, just trying to ride the back of that power curve until I got to a smooth spot and then plop it down. So this is where my tail wheel touched down first. And then, I don't know, maybe a good 10 feet or so, then my mains touch down. I'll say this, even though I can't officially measure this out, I don't have a wheel with me or anything, I'm gonna tell you, that's already a huge improvement versus the old mechanical brakes. So I am excited. That's gonna be a game changer this summer.
Oil temperature is great, oil pressure is great. Got fuel in the tank. I mean, we are ready to rock and roll. I was trying to make sure I steered around that old willow tree. Y'all know, man, that willow tree's got a little bit of a history. Yeah, now that one you could do. Looks like Tony has probably done it. Let's just go circle around and look at it and try it.
Well, got a small problem. My tail wheel has broke completely in half. And I don't know that there's a quick fix for that. The bar, and listen, it's not the bar either. This thing is smooth as silk. So I lost complete rudder control because obviously when my tail wheel broke, the bottom of my rudder dug into the dirt, and I was just along for the ride. Luckily my speed was slow enough that, I mean, it stopped relatively quick, but I just don't know what happened. It's not that it's so much heavy as much as it's heavy in the sand, but basically the leaf spring split completely in half. I'm gonna look at it for a second and see if maybe I can find a way to get it off. Get maybe Tony, Chris, somebody to come pick me up and see if we can make a repair. Hopefully get this thing off the sandbar today. So the mission has changed. Went from having a glorious Saturday morning, wonderful weather flight to airplane recovery. So now I've had a second to kind of settle down, think it through a little bit. The way I knew something was immediately wrong, that I lost complete rudder authority. And it was because, I think my rudder had dug deep enough down into the sand that it was stuck in that position where it broke off, and that's all there was to it. Plus, the other thing I was fighting against is the tail wheel directional control was attached by 2 springs. One of them broke off. So I was trying to give it left rudder, but I was getting no response. So I was on my brakes, but the rudder was stuck to the right because that spring was broke. I couldn't get it back. And on top of that, because the tail wheel was still attached by that one string, or by that one spring, as it was dragging, it was pulling the rudder, so it was pulling me to the right. It was like fighting a horse that did not want to be bridled. Nonetheless, the good thing again, the Avid Flyer is so slow that I was able to, even though it was effectively a ground loop, caused no damage, wings didn't touch. I think what I'm gonna do is, because I can get my tail wheel off the ground quick enough with the new brakes, I think I'm just gonna detach the tail wheel, make sure I got everything loose from it, and treat the butt plate pretty much like a skid. I'm gonna try to take off. Again, the rudder will be out of the sand, no worry about controls hitting the surface. And I'm gonna try to go, and when I land in Vidalia, again, if I can get off here uneventful, I will land at the grass in Vidalia, and then just get the buggy, get Hunter to help taxi me, excuse me, over to my hangar. And now the other thing I can tell you is, this is why I always travel with a toolkit with me. Now, there's a lot of times I actually debated taking it out because it's a lot of extra weight, but this is the day that I'm glad that I got my toolkit with me. I think I should probably have what I need to get this tail wheel detached and get out of here before it gets blistering hot. And just like that, I am free of a tail wheel. And I'm gonna get to the end of the bar. I'm going to hold my brakes as much as I can, get the tail wheel up, nose forward, and I'm gonna take off and at least get back to Vide. You can probably see here the leaf spring on this thing just completely broken in half. Again, it's not extremely uncommon with these leaf springs. I can't tell you on the Avid forum and Kitfox forums online that how many times I've read about just this happening.
I'm gonna try to get this thing home, and I'll admit, I'm a little nervous, but I've got rudder control. We're gonna just try and see. All right, I'm up. Hunter, are you terribly busy? Well, you see what had happened was, I'm coming into land without a tail wheel. So is any of that 3214 grass over there usable? Yeah, I just need a couple hundred feet. Yeah, I got plenty of rudder control. I just I don't want it to scrape in the grass. I mean, I got a butt plate on it, so it should be fine. But I just don't want to take no more chances than I have to. I'm 4 minutes and 30 seconds out. Big shout out to Tony Zorn, Rock Monster Deuce. He called him. He's always my backcountry coach out here. And just told him what I had, and we kind of talked through it. Agreed that I had a good avenue to get off. It was a good bar. He's landed it before. So now I got Hunter gonna be there to make sure I got plenty of smooth grass to land in. I hope it's a piece of cake. So in relation to you, how far back are the posts? Kind of up towards where that cutover trail is?
I'm gonna park right there at them. That way, once you know you pass me, that's it.
Alright.
Also check, not that we've had rain, but everything's dry too. I don't see no wet spots or nothing holding water.
Okie doke. Alright, here we go. Coming in without a tail wheel. The only thing I worry about is it getting caught in the grass and just being able to mess up my steering, but should be good.
Hunter,
Textbook.
that was too good, right?
Yes, it was.
That was
awesome.
smooth, right?
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, brother. Thank you for coming to the rescue. Over here at VDI, you're always in good hands when Hunter's got you covered.
Appreciate you.
He went and sat down at the fence post. Again, we're getting ready for the Vide Onion Festival next weekend and the air show out here. And he marked the post with the Ranger so I knew where I could dip down afterwards. And wheel landing. That's the first wheel landing I've done in I don't know, maybe since I even got my tail wheel rating. I can't remember. Sorry, Carson, I know I should have been practicing. But man, it was too good. Once I was losing airspeed, I got on the brakes. Thank God for the hydraulic brakes, got me stopped. And no damage to the rudder. Look at that.
Everything looked textbook, brother.
So I guess now we're gonna probably use the Ranger, get this thing taxied over here, put it in the hangar, and guess I got to find a new tail wheel. Yeah. Well, made it home. As you can tell, the Avid is sitting back here on a bucket. Derek has brought me a tail wheel that we're gonna look and see if it works. But what an adventure. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and end my adventure here. Obviously I got a lot to go do. So with that, if you're enjoying this content we're putting out, if you enjoy the adventure, subscribe to the channel. That really does help us out a lot. And who knows what is next.